In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 reasons to think twice about moving to Cleveland, Ohio. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Living in Cleveland. I'm Patty Sells CLE, and I make videos about all things Northeast Ohio, Northwest Ohio, and even down south. And you know the drill. If you don't want to miss any of my videos, hit that subscribe, hit the like, leave me some comments. I love them. Okay, today, you know I love my city. I have over 150 videos on YouTube talking about how much I love my city. But you know what? Cleveland might not be for everyone. And in today's video, I'm going to dive into a topic that might be on your mind if you're considering a move to Cleveland. So now, before we get started, let me clarify that every city has its pros and cons, and Cleveland is no different. And some people might want to take these 5 things about Cleveland into consideration before making their move. All right, number 1, weather woes. Let's just get it out of the way right now. Almost every video I do, weather happens to come up. It's a big deal in the Cleveland area. It's December, it's cold, it's dreary. Actually, the sun was out a minute ago. But yes, our winters can be very, very rough. And depending where you live in Cleveland, it could be rougher than if you picked another part of Cleveland to live in. So let's talk about the snow belt. I've done a whole video on the snow belt. The snow belt is southeast of downtown Cleveland. So I live northwest of Cleveland, and I am not in the snow belt. And last week we had our first winter snow event. I didn't get any snow. But on the east side, I think they got over a foot of snow. So depending where you live in Cleveland will determine how much snow you get. And then besides snow, yeah, it gets cold in the winter. It's dreary. It's the Midwest. January, February, March, even parts of April can be brutal with no sunshine, which is why a lot of Clevelanders go on vacation in the winter months. Now, that being said, our summers and autumns are beautiful, and us Clevelanders take full advantage of being on Lake Erie. So if you love being in the water, you love boating, you will love being in the Cleveland area in the summer warm months. Okay, number 2, let's talk about Cleveland's economic challenges. You might find Cleveland's always on some list of being one of the nation's poorest cities. We have a very low, high population of people who live in poverty. That being said, you might have a hard time if you're just moving to Cleveland without a job prospect. You might have a difficult time finding. Now, most of the people I work with who are moving into Cleveland already have the job nailed down. Cleveland does have a huge medical infrastructure, so a lot of people are moving to Cleveland to work at the Cleveland Clinic, to work at Metro, university hospitals, on. So, there could be some challenges for you if you are looking for a job in other sectors. But that being said, our cost of living is super, super low. And let's just talk about gasoline for a second. I drove to Pittsburgh, which is only 2 hours east of Cleveland. I drove there a couple weeks ago, and the gas was 60 cents higher 2 hours east just into Pennsylvania than it was in Cleveland, Ohio. So our cost of living is extremely low, and our gas prices compared, even when it gets high, way above $3 a gallon, we'll drive around like, oh, we still have a lot better than other places in the country. So while economic hardships, we do have a high population of people living in poverty, but our cost of living is extremely low. Okay, number 3, now let's talk about something that's near and dear to many people, sports. We have struggles when it comes to our sports teams, and any sports enthusiast knows that Cleveland does not have very good luck with winning championships. Other than the Cleveland Cavaliers, which, yay, they finally won a Cleveland national championship. But that is already way back in history when LeBron was with the Cavaliers. So The Browns, no, every year, like, oh yeah, it's going to be this year. It's going to be this year. It's not. Come on. It's really not. And let's talk about the Guardians. They've had better years than some. They didn't even make the playoffs this year. So we really do struggle with our sports teams. But you know what? We are die-hard fans and we will root for you every single game. Okay, number 3, education. Education is a crucial consideration to people with families moving to Cleveland. And in the city of Cleveland, the schools are struggling. As with any major urban city, Cleveland has a lot of the same problems as any other urban city. And you're going to want to do your due diligence. And you know, if you've watched any of my videos, I am a former Cleveland school teacher. I taught in the Cleveland schools for 10 years. I ran a tutoring company in all of the Cleveland schools for the following 6 years. So I know the Cleveland schools inside and out. And I can tell you from my heart that the Cleveland teachers are the most dedicated teachers you will find out there. People, they start teaching in Cleveland and they never leave. Many of the teachers I know are in the same building that they've been in since they started with Cleveland. So that being said, the public school system may not be an option for your family, and that's fine. I recommend you do your homework on the Ohio Department of Education. You can see the report cards, go to niche.com, do your homework, but there's other options in Cleveland, and Cleveland takes part of the voucher program. So if you are a resident of Cleveland, you can apply for a voucher for your child to go to any private school. And it used to be the private school had to be in Cleveland, but it doesn't anymore. So if you wanted your child to go to a private high school like St. Ignatius, which is in Cleveland, or St. Ed's, which is in Lakewood, or which those are boys' schools, or St. Joe's Academy, girls' school in Cleveland, or Magnificat in Rocky River, both girls' schools, you can use the voucher to help pay for that. There are also many charter schools in the Cleveland area that also offer a nice alternative to the Cleveland public school system. So I recommend you do your homework, check out the voucher systems if you think a private school, and it doesn't have to be a parochial school. It can be any other private institution where you could send your children to school. But I definitely recommend you do your homework and find a school system that is best for your children and your family. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about Cleveland's culture. Now, having lived in Cleveland my entire life, I kind of beg to differ that people would seem to think that Cleveland does not offer a lot of cultural activities, locations, or any kind of offerings, because I know for a fact that Cleveland is extremely cultural. We have some of the best museums in the world. We have one of the best, biggest, our Playhouse Square, the live productions is the second largest in the country after New York City. So I beg to differ, but I think a lot of people moving to the Cleveland area, like, why would I go to Cleveland? What the heck do they offer culturally? And it may not offer what Chicago offers or New York City offers, but we definitely do offer quite a bit. And our Playhouse Square area, this is the first year in a few years that I'm not a subscriber. And like the last couple of years, I got tickets to all of the different plays and they were awesome. Just as good as what you see on Broadway. Same actors. Awesome. Our museums over in University Circle are some of the best in the country, and some of them are best in the world. So in fact, our Museum of Art is free. All the time, free. So it might not be up to snuff if you're from New York City or Chicago, but you know what? For being a cute little Midwestern town, I think it does quite well. So I guess I'm a little biased. And in conclusion, I love my city, you know it, but it might not be the city for everybody out there watching my video. I get hate comments all the time. Good for you. You left Cleveland. I'm happy for you. You know, I want to take a break from Cleveland in the wintertime. Yes. But at the end of the day, I love my city. And, you know, if you're looking to move to the Cleveland area, give me a call. All my info is down below. And thanks for watching.